Americans are preparing for war. Unfortunately, not with Russia, but with its direct ally, Iran. Washington has already warned Tehran about the need to reconsider its behavior.
Iran definitely ranks very high on my list of things to absolutely watch. And as you probably already know, I recently sent them a letter. And I said, you will have to make a decision one way or another, and we will either have to talk and discuss it, or very bad things will happen with Iran.
But Iran, typical in dictatorships now, was not frightened by words. Such countries can only be stopped up by force, and the USA is ready for this.
The United States and its partners remain committed to regional security in the area of responsibility of the United States Central Command, and are prepared to respond to any state or non-state actions that seek to expand or escalate the conflict in the region. Minister Hengis continues to clearly emphasize that if Iran or its proxies threaten American personnel or interests in the region, the United States will take decisive action to protect our people.
Agreed. These are also words, but they are backed by the deployment of firepower, and such force has not been seen since the US war in Iraq. What have the Americans deployed to the Middle East? How lethal is this weaponry? And should Iran already consider relocating to another planet? We'll tell you in just a moment. The Middle East is a well-known territory for the USA. They have repeatedly shown there that it's not worth tangling with the Americans, but it seems the local dictators have already forgotten about this. Therefore, the United States has gone on the hunt. Leading this strike team is the nuclear aircraft carrier Carl Vinson. This ship was named after a distinguished American congressman. The aircraft carrier was launched in 1980. And in March 1982, it was commissioned into the naval fleet. It can accommodate 90 aircraft and helicopters on board. The crew consists of 3,200 people plus 2,480 air wing personnel. The speed of the Carl Vinson is 30 knots or 56 kilometers per hour. The American aircraft carrier has repeatedly participated in wars over the years of service, particularly in the Middle East, as well as in operations in Afghanistan. Included in the firepower that entered the Middle East are also the missile cruiser Princeton and two Arleigh Burke-class missile destroyers, Sterett and William Lawrence. Both of the latter ships are relatively new. They were commissioned in 2008 and 2011, respectively. But these are not all the ships intended to show Iran that indeed joking with the United States is a bad idea.
In accordance with the President's directive to achieve peace through strength, the Secretary of Defense has instructed the aircraft carrier strike group Harry S. Truman to remain in the U.S. Central Command's area of responsibility to support regional deterrence efforts and force protection.
The aircraft carrier Harry Truman belongs to the same class as the Carl Vinson, the Nimitz class. All ships of this type are structurally almost identical and are considered the largest vessels in the world. There are 10 of them in total. The last of them, the ship George Bush, has been in service since 2009. The Nimitz-class aircraft carriers are built according to a classic design, but at the same time they have a number of features. In particular, their hull is welded from steel plates, and the main load-bearing structures, including the flight deck, are made of armor steel. But in this case, we are also interested in the contents of these ships, more precisely the armament they carry. Let's count. In the group in the Middle East, there are 2 aircraft carriers, each designed for 90 planes and helicopters. Together, 180 aircraft. If they had 5th generation F-35 fighters on board, launching these planes against Iran would wipe the country off the face of the earth. But wait, they do have them.
5th generation fighters are machines that are supposed to revolutionize the concept of combat aviation. Now all branches of the military, including the Air Force, the Army, which are the ground forces, the Marine Corps, and the Navy, will have a single type of aircraft, the F-35.
The cruising speed of the F-35 is 850 kilometers per hour, with a practical ceiling height of about 15 kilometers. The total flight duration is 2 hours and 30 minutes, but it wasn't even these characteristics that made the American aircraft conquer the world. The uniqueness of the F-35 lies in its avionics and the pilot's helmet. As for the avionics, it allows the American fighter to detect ballistic missile launches at a distance of up to 1,300 kilometers, conduct tracking and enable targeting of each individual target in an automated mode, detect missile attacks on the aircraft in advance, neutralize enemy equipment and artillery, as well as patrol the airspace day and night. Well, in my opinion, the most interesting thing is the helmet. It is custom made for each pilot and its cost is about $500,000. It might seem like an astronomical amount of money for just a helmet, but it's not just a helmet.
That is, it also has a helmet-mounted targeting system. What does this mean? The plane flies forward, and by turning the pilot's head, the missile is guided left, right, at all 90 degrees, or even programmatically. It first launches forward, then turns around and flies towards the target. That is pursuing the F-35 aircraft. It gives the pilot a 360-degree view because it receives information, not only from what the pilot sees with their own eyes, but also from the optoelectronic system and the radar system. Compared to the 4th generation, it's a revolutionary quantum leap in terms of its highly advanced and sophisticated capabilities, offering unparalleled performance and cutting-edge technology in the aircraft's abilities both in striking ground targets and in evading enemy weapons.
But the F-35 is not the only weapon that should make the dictators in Tehran sweat. On the aircraft carriers that have arrived in the Middle East, there are also, for example, B-2A Spirit bombers. They have already been battle tested. The Spirit has proven itself successfully in several military conflicts in Kosovo, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Libya. Combat tests have shown that the B-2 bomber is capable of covering a distance of 15,000 kilometers at a speed of 1,000 kilometers per hour. It is equipped with 4 turbojet engines located deep within the central part of the fuselage. The flight ceiling is 15 kilometers and the wingspan is 52.4 meters. Meanwhile, the length of the aircraft is only 21 meters. What do you think of the military power that the Americans have deployed to the Middle East? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like this video. And be sure to subscribe to our new Arsenal channel so you don't miss all the most interesting content.